What is vibing? This is Vish, and today I'm gonna respond to Sadhguru's video on how do you control anger. Also, if you can hit that subscribe button, I'll be truly grateful. I'm a meditation coach and I've got hundreds of people on their meditation journeys. If you have any questions about my spiritual journey or how to get started with meditation, either comment down below or message me on Instagram at VishVibez. Sadhguru is a yogi, mystic, and visionary who has helped me to enlighten the world. I'm truly grateful for his presence as well as all the work that he's doing. I'm actually very curious to see what he says about anger and how you control it. Let's see what he says.
Swamiji, can you explain what is life? How can we avoid angry?
I'm sorry, what is?
Explain what is life.
What is life?
Yeah.
Oh. And what's the second part of it?
How can you avoid angry?
How can you avoid anger? See, if you're driving on the Coimbatore streets, you have to avoid the medians which are placed in odd places. You have to avoid bad drivers. You have to avoid drunken men crossing the street, children crossing the street, all kinds of things. But when you're driving in Coimbatore street, do you have to avoid the moon? I'm asking, do you have to avoid the moon?
No?
No, because the moon is not on the street, isn't it? So similarly, right now are you angry? No? Then why should you avoid it? There's no need to avoid it. It is just that you think anger is an entity. Anger is not an entity. You become angry. You become angry. Anger is not sitting somewhere and you go hit it. There is no such thing.
Very true.
You become angry. When you become angry, is it pleasant for you or unpleasant for you? Unpleasant for you. Unpleasant for others for sure, unpleasant for yourself also. Today, medical science proves to you, when you're angry, you're actually poisoning your system, you know. We've always known this, but today chemical tests clearly show you that you're actually poisoning your system, generating poison in the system by being angry. So, why would you want to poison yourself? It is not a conscious act. You're poisoning yourself, you're causing unpleasantness to yourself only because your mind is not taking instructions from you, isn't it? It is not taking instructions from you. If it was taking instructions from you, you would have said blissfulness, isn't it? You wouldn't say anger. But now when you want to be peaceful, it is getting angry because it is not taking instructions from you. So if your mind is not taking instructions from you, you have to pay a little more attention to it. Why is it not taking instructions from you? If you understand this, you don't have to avoid anger, because anger is not sitting there and getting at you. You are becoming angry, you are becoming unhappy, you are becoming miserable. These things are happening to you essentially because you have not done anything to take your faculties under your control. It is happening accidentally, just by chance. If outside situations are good, you are also good. If outside situations are bad, you are also bad. That is not how human life should be. Human life should be like this. If I am good, everything around me becomes good. This should be the reality, isn't it? Right now, if things around me are whichever way, I will become that way. No. Human consciousness should create situations. Right now, situations are creating human consciousness. That's not the right way to shape human life.
Beautiful. I love that response, and as always, Sadhguru never directly will answer your question. He always gives you pointers and guidelines towards exploring the truth out on your own. It's very easy to be given an answer, but does it even mean much if you can't experience it? And see it for yourself. That is why I very much appreciate the way and approach that Sadhguru has to these questions. And it really varies from all sorts of spectrums of life. From what is life to how to avoid anger. Any extreme, and it's beautiful. I love the way he responds, and more importantly, he responds consciously. That is a key. And he also beautifully uses conscious analogies, which I've come to appreciate. What he was saying with regards to the moon and you not being on the street, if it didn't make sense to you, I can break it down. Essentially what he's saying is, when you're in the traffic jam, let's just say, you're in the car and there's all these cars around you, you're tending to get angry and frustrated of, I gotta be at a certain place, I don't want to be here, I want to move. As Eckhart Tolle says, frustration, anger, all these unconscious feelings are arising because you're resisting what is. You're resisting the present moment. Whether you like it or not, you're stuck in that car, in that spot. And you can't move, you can't fly. So what is you being in that car, in that traffic jam. And you're not accepting that is what leads to resistance. And whatever you resist will persist. And that means your anger will last, your frustration will last, and if anything grows stronger, the more importance you give to it. And this is all because you're attached to the emotion itself. As Sadhguru beautifully said towards the end, all these situations are shaping how we think and how we operate, the environment around us. And as a result, we're becoming at mercy to the external world. And the external world is always not going to be pleasant. As a result, our life and our feelings are literally going to be up and downs with what is around us. Why not operate from the inside out? That way, once you learn to make this piece of life blissful, naturally everything around you will be blissful too. Consciousness is contagious, just like the way unconsciousness is too. Let us help make consciousness the new wave and all this awaken together, as is referencing to the moon analogy. When you're in that car, you're super angry because you're attached, you're in it. But you're not angry at the moon. And what he means by that is, you imagine being in a helicopter way above the traffic. Keep in mind this analogy is from Sadhguru. Now you're observing the traffic and you're in the helicopter and you're like, traffic. Versus being in the car in the actual traffic, like, traffic. It's all about the shift in perspective. But the shift in perspective is really only possible due to the detachment that takes place. You realize that you're not even there and you're just not the body, you're not the mind. As I've learned from the Isha Kriya meditation from Sadhguru. Once you learn to detach yourself from that emotion, from the thought, from the body, from the mind, everything becomes at ease. You leave dis-ease and you enter the state of ease. You learn, as he says, to start giving instructions to the body, to the mind, because you're not one with it. When you get attached to it, you become at the mercy of it and the environment. And that is a simple message. Just realize that you are not the body, you're not the mind, you're not the feelings, and you're not the thoughts. You are beyond all of this. You are the energy, you are the consciousness. Let us tap into this together. Make it a great day. Take it joyfully and stay conscious.